Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Modern Mining. I've been overseas on vacation. I'm finally back, and it's time to give some care to the old GPU mining farm. So it is 83 degrees in here right now. It is technically spring, but when you got a huge heater like this in your garage, this is basically already summertime. So it's time to do some prep work to the mining farm on how I manage my heat down here, and I'm gonna be doing some things in this video that may give you guys ideas on how to manage the heat in your mining farm, because that is one of the most important things when it comes to mining crypto in the summer. It's great during the winter, but during the summer, you need a way to manage the heat. So hopefully this gives you some ideas. Let's go over the setup after a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's video is sponsored by EMCD.io, a top 10 Bitcoin mining pool. EMCD.io is an established mining pool that offers competitive fees for coins like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and even Caspa. EMCD.io has been around for a long time and has a vested interest in supporting the crypto mining community. EMCD.io frequently hosts webinars and completely free educational sessions that all pool members can tune into. Be sure to follow them on Twitter to stay up to date with these events. Recently, EMCD.io launched their new service, Complex. This is a hosting service that allows users to pay a flat fee to have EMCD.io run their miners and deal with all the headaches that comes along with it. Users can start earning coins within 48 hours of signing up. As always, do your own research before investing into cryptocurrency products and services, and thanks to EMCD.io for sponsoring this video.
So before I go over the exact things that we're going to implement in this video, let's take a look at this plastic sheet. This is just a kind of hint at something that needs a lot of love and care, and I'll explain what that's for in a second. So this is my mining farm. I'm sure you guys already all know this. If not, welcome to the channel. I have a bunch of GPUs down here. Only these 12 are mining right now. And then I have some D-pin devices, some solo miners, some Dogecoin miners, some Ethereum Classic miners. And I did just realize that my little Bitcoin price tracker is broken. I need to look into that. Right when Bitcoin's getting close to breaking 100K, I think it's at like 97 right now. So for those of you who don't know anything about kind of managing the heat of a crypto mining farm, it's kind of a very simple concept. All of these machines are generating a lot of heat, and I have them all so they're pushing the heat back into this little kind of closet area. And then I have this massive fan that is in charge of sucking all that heat out of the garage, because during the summer, I do not want to be turning on my AC upstairs to fight off this heat. It's a losing battle to try to use AC to kind of overcome heat generated from crypto miners, because basically if you're spending 1,000 watts on crypto mining heat, then you're going to be needing to spend 1,000 watts on AC cooling to kind of offset that. And that basically just doubles your power cost. And with how kind of tight crypto mining profits are right now, that is not a recipe for success. And you basically never want to use AC to cool off crypto miner heat. So therefore, we use a fan to exhaust all that heat. But how fans work is they pull air, but they can only pull air if they have an intake. There has to be some sort of source of fresh air. So I have had this fan running off and on over the past few days and few weeks, but I've only had my intake as this window right here, which is right kind of down the wall. But how this works is that if that fan is trying to pump out, let's say 1,000 CFM, and this window can only provide 800 CFM, then the rest of that 200 CFM is coming from somewhere. That fan will kind of ramp down and the motor will struggle if it can't get all of that CFM, but what generally ends up happening is it's going to pull that extra from the rest of my house. It's going to pull it through the cracks in the ceiling, which means it's going to be pulling all my fresh AC air from upstairs down through the floor and then out that window. So what we need to do is we need to provide sufficient intake for that fan so that it's not trying to pull my AC air from upstairs. And how I did that last summer and what I'm planning to do today is pop these windows out of my garage, put a screen material on them so I'm not sucking in pollen and dust and things like that. And with these 4 windows open, that is plenty of air intake for that fan, especially if I don't turn it on full blast. Now the other side of that is this plastic sheet I mentioned. We'll come over to this side. This is my central air duct across my entire house. So my bedroom is right kind of up there, and all of the cold air on this entire side of my house comes through this pipe right here. And it's pretty old house, 1965, so the ducting is by no means airtight. And why I have this sheet here is to basically kind of make this pipe airtight so that none of those leaks are getting sucked by that fan. And as you can see, this has been up for about a year now, and the duct tape is falling. It is no longer sticking to the ceiling. So we're going to fix that with a mixture of more duct tape, and I got some staples, because the main thing is the duct tape just can't hold the weight of the plastic. Once I get some staples in there, the duct tape should be totally fine. So let's go ahead and fix this first, and then we will go on to these right here. So one thing I kind of want to check first is, let's go ahead and just turn this fan on and get a preliminary speed reading of how much air is coming through this window right here. And then we can test that after the fact. Once these are all open, the air that's coming through there should drop, but the total amount of air coming in should increase. So let's grab our little fan meter and turn this fan on. So this fan is on a smart outlet here. Let's go ahead and turn that on. This should start to ramp up. I'm gonna be using a few tools in this video, guys. I will have all these tools linked down below, including for this fan. Buying some of these tools and random links off of Amazon is like the best way to support my channel. So by all means, thank you for doing that ahead of time. Okay, let's close that door so we're not pulling air from the house. And let's get a reading of what we are pulling through this window. So I've got it on feet per minute here. And it looks like we are about at 470 feet per minute with just this window. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is I was planning on filming this today, and my damn garage door spring snapped this morning. So I did confirm that they can just replace the spring, not the garage door, because I wasn't going to pop these out if I had to replace the whole door. But they said they can just replace the spring. So hey, definitely go down there and click one of those Amazon links. Help me pay for this $500 garage spring. But okay, so we got a preliminary reading. Let's turn this off and then turn this fan. I'm gonna leave this on for now, get some fresh air down here so it's not so hot. And let's start fixing this. So like I mentioned, I'm gonna be using staples to fix this. This is just a super cheap Arrow staple gun that I got on Amazon, along with a Arrow variety pack of staples. I'll have these linked down below as well. But my thought here is I just need to basically support this plastic, and then the existing tape may very well work, or I may need to put one more row of tape on there. But first things first, let's just go ahead and get this kind of back where it's supposed to be, and then put some staples in it. And that looks good right there. So this thing's pretty easy to use. Nice. This should really go pretty quickly. Let me know down below, guys, what brand of duct tape do you use and recommend? As you can see, I've tried a couple different brands, and I don't know if duct tape's just not as good as it used to be or what, but it seems like it's very hard for me to get one that actually is very sticky. All of them seem to be failing. All right, this is working very well. It does get kind of complicated in these corners, but it looks to be all right. Okay, go ahead and put a couple in here just for good measure. This thing is pretty badass. I mean, it's going straight into a 2x4s without issue. Okay, I mean, right away, we at least got it attached. Now we need to kind of give the duct tape some love so it's actually airtight. But first, let's knock this other side out. And this is going to be a little more challenging because this is actually on a metal I-beam. And so you can see it's ripped off there. So this one may just need some new tape, but really that's the only spot. Over here seems to be okay. Over here seems to be okay. So actually might not be too bad. Part of my issue the last time I tried to stick this tape up here is that this I-beam has like an insane amount of just dust and junk on it. So I can't really wrap the duct tape up and over to hold it because it's so dusty. So I'm gonna use this little blower and blow all that off, but I am gonna put some safety glasses on just because it's like really gross dust. All right, let's do it. I don't know if you guys have ever used these little Amazon blowers, but these things are like actually insanely strong. So, all right, I'm just gonna start over here. Okay. Still some fine dust up there. I might just take a piece of duct tape and kind of do that to get some of that residual residue off. So I've been a little slow on videos lately, guys. I was actually in Taiwan for a business trip for the past 10 days. So that made it obviously very hard to get videos out. But that was a very awesome trip. I got to meet a lot of great people out there, and the food was surprisingly incredible. Overall, a pretty great trip. I'll probably throw some clips on right now just so you guys can get an idea of what it was like, but it was very cool to see that. And there you can see the kind of dust I'm talking about. I need to keep doing that because that's insane. I'm always finding random stuff up here. This is like an old piece of trim. Put that in the trash pile. But okay, that's feeling a lot better. All right, I'm gonna stick this back as best I can with the current tape and then go over it with one more layer. And then I probably need to go around this pole one more time. And I'm actually gonna get a socket wrench and pull all of these things off. They're just making it harder to actually get a good airtight seal there. All right, let's fold this over into our nice clean edge up there, and this should hopefully be plenty to keep this side from sagging, and with the staples on the other, this should be a lot better. All right, that was a bit more of a headache than I wanted, and I can't even get a few of these off, but I should still just be able to kind of load this up with duct tape and get some sort of seal going on here. Definitely let me know what brand of duct tape you guys use, because this one is not cutting it. It's not tearing good. It's not really that sticky. All right, that is a much better airtight seal there. We'll run one more piece across here, and then we'll run one more piece on this side, clean up some of this hanging stuff, might need to cut some, and then we should be good on this plastic part. Honestly, with the staples, this side might not even need another round of duct tape, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway, just so I don't ever need to mess with this again. Okay guys, and just like that, this is good to go. I'm gonna throw a few more staples in off camera, just make sure it's totally good. But let's go ahead and start unscrewing these windows. Somewhere I kept the little perfectly cut screen material that I used. I have to dig through this mess of a garage and try to find where I put that material, because I definitely don't want to recut it. This is how I know it's pretty airtight. I'm just gonna open and close this door a few times, watch that kind of fill up and lose air. Not sure how much you're able to see that on camera. All right, I found them. Thank God. This is gonna save a lot of time. So just as an example, look at where the window was. Now, I'm gonna try to use that little mini air blower to blow these out once I get them installed. Last year though, I mainly just used my shop vac and sucked all the pollen and stuff off them, but obviously they somewhat got stained. But hey, that means they're doing their job. So I'm gonna grab a screwdriver. There is a lot of screws per window, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 screws per window. So I got 64 to knock out. Let's do it in a little montage. All right, need to set these somewhere where they do not get broken. All right, got them all pulled out. Now, if you don't remember how I put these screens in, it's actually super convenient. So I still have these frames. I just overlay the material, and then if I can get it to focus here, I still have these screw holes. So I just screw the frame back over the cloth there, and it actually works perfectly. So let's do that, and then this will be about complete. And then we'll need to set our fan speed, because I want it just low and slow enough to pull all the heat out, but where I'm not just ripping a ton of air through here. There's certainly no need for that. I just need a little bit of pressure that's getting that air pulled out, because I'll probably let that fan run 100% of the time. Now, I remember this not being the easiest thing to do. Actually, yeah, especially, look, when that fan's on, it's just blowing that out. So I am gonna have to turn that fan off. Boom. All right, it's actually not bad as long as I lay it on the ground first to get it situated. Looks pretty good. So from here, just plug a couple screws in. And then you can kind of pull it tight. And the nice thing about this is from the outside, you almost can't even tell that there's not a window. All right, so that is a lot of work, but you only have to do it 2 times a year, and then I immediately get a ton of real estate for fresh air intake that is screened. So if anyone's wondering what screen material I'm using here, I did a lot of research to try to find the most budget one, and this is actually like t-shirt screen printing material. And this whole section was probably about $6. So very, very cheap. I will leave a link to that on Amazon as well. In my opinion, it's probably the best bulk filter material you can get. And it's like, I don't know what the word is, polycarbonate, so you can blow it out or vacuum it out so it never gets clogged up. It's not like you need to replace it. So that's pretty sweet. I have gone ahead and turned this fan back on. Let's go ahead and get an airflow reading here and see what we are looking at. We were getting 500 out of this window. What are we looking at right now? So about half. So that's good. So as long as all of these windows add up to another half, then we got more airflow than we had before. So about 100 there. About 100 there. About 100 there. So these windows are also bigger. So as you guys can see, we're getting much more airflow here, which is good because that means we're not trying to pull air from the AC in my house or even through the cracks in that door. So that is very good. Okay guys, so that is how you deal with the heat in your mining farm during the summer. At least in my opinion, that's about the most efficient way you can do it. Cheapest, lowest power rate. That fan is DC, so it only draws like 30 watts continuously. It's like as much as a solo miner. So basically I heat my whole crypto mining farm for like a few bucks a month. It's a very efficient way to do it. If you learned a lot from this video, I'm gonna leave a video up here with a couple other power saving tricks that you may be interested in. I greatly appreciate you guys sticking around for the whole video. Thanks as always for watching Modern Mining.